Archaeologists have helped piece together some of the most important moments in human history, but they haven't done it alone. Some discoveries weren't planned or predicted. They happened when a road crew broke through an ancient floor, or when someone digging in their backyard hit something that wasn't just dirt. Over time, remarkable things have surfaced purely by chance, unexpected, unexplained, and unforgettable. In this video, we're counting down 15 of the most unexpected archaeological finds and discoveries that will just blow your mind. Number 15. Secret Tunnels of Blenheim Palace. Blenheim Palace, the birthplace of Winston Churchill, already carries more history than most buildings, but in 2018, it added another secret to its story. And it's just insane. During lake maintenance near the palace grounds, workers discovered something unexpected beneath the Great Bridge, a hidden network of tunnels and chambers. These underground rooms weren't listed in any architectural records. Some had chimneys, others had graffiti dating back to the 1760s, and one massive chamber looked eerily like a forgotten theater. No one knows who built them or why. Theories have ranged from servant quarters and secret societies to religious cults. The flooding of the grounds in the 18th century sealed these tunnels away, making them a true time capsule. Their rediscovery has sparked excitement among historians and locals alike, though concrete answers remain elusive. For now, the rooms stand as a mysterious layer beneath one of England's grandest estates, silent, strange, and wide open to speculation. Number 14. The Tomb of Pharaoh Tame. In 2019, while laying down sewage pipes in the town of Tamasug, workers hit something unexpected: stone walls carved with ancient symbols. Construction came to a halt, and archaeologists moved in fast. What they uncovered was the long-lost tomb of Pharaoh Tame IV, sealed off and untouched for over 2,200 years. Tame isn't exactly a household name. History describes him as more interested in art and indulgence than governance, which might explain why his burial site was tucked away on the less prestigious western bank of the Nile. But while his reign wasn't legendary, his tomb is another story. Inside were inscriptions, artwork, and signs of a once grand resting place. He also famously commissioned the Tesseraconter, the largest human-powered ship in ancient history, which boasted a crew of 4,000. Though time tried to erase him, this accidental discovery reopened a chapter many thought closed. Tame may not have ruled wisely, but he certainly left a mark, and now he's finally remembered. Number 13. The City of Caral. Back in 1949, an American traveler trekking through Peru stumbled upon ruins unlike anything marked on his map. Locals brushed off his claims, assuming he'd seen something else entirely. It wasn't until 1994, nearly 5 decades later, that archaeologists investigated and confirmed he'd found something monumental: the ancient city of Caral. Estimated to be around 5,000 years old, Caral is now recognized as the oldest known city in the Americas. Thanks to Peru's dry climate, the site is preserved. You can clearly see pyramids, plazas, an amphitheater, and even a network of residential streets. What's strange, though, is what's missing. No defensive walls, no weapons. Instead, researchers found musical instruments, deer bone horns, and flutes made from pelican. It paints a picture of a civilization focused more on art and peace than warfare. In a world obsessed with conquest, Caral stands out as a rare chapter of early humanity that didn't revolve around power or bloodshed, but community and creativity. Number 2. Rome's oldest aqueduct. In early 2017, construction crews digging for Rome's new metro line unearthed something far older than cables and concrete: a section of the Aqua Appia, the city's first aqueduct. Built in 312 BCE, it's over 2,300 years old and was one of the earliest feats of Roman engineering. The discovery wasn't far from the Colosseum, hidden just beneath the modern sprawl. Its stone arches, still intact in places, offer a rare insight into how water once flowed across ancient Rome. Despite the historical value, preservation wasn't fully possible. The metro expansion had to go on, and city planners couldn't divert the route. Archaeologists moved quickly, documenting and excavating every detail they could before the work continued. A nearby museum will now showcase the artifacts and sections pulled from the site. It's a reminder of just how deep Rome's past runs, layered beneath centuries of streets, buildings, and noise. The city keeps moving, but its oldest foundations still find a way to speak. What do you think about it? Number 11. Meteor crater found, instead of gold. In mid-2020, workers from Evolution Mining were chasing gold near the town of Ora Banda, Western Australia. What they ended up finding instead was a colossal impact crater, over 3 miles wide and dating back 100 million years. It wasn't exactly the payday they hoped for, but geologists were just super thrilled. The impact site, now named the Mears crater after LID geologist Jason Mears, ranks among the largest meteorite craters on Earth. For such a massive structure to go unnoticed for so long is baffling, especially in a landscape studied for decades. Sadly for the mining company, the meteor's violent collision likely disrupted the surrounding gold deposits, scattering them beyond recovery. Their dig had to stop while experts conducted thorough geological studies, turning what was supposed to be a commercial excavation into a full-blown scientific site. It may not have lined pockets, but it did rewrite part of Earth's history. So, not all treasure shines. Some leave craters and stories buried in stone. Number 10. The Grauballe Man. In 1952, workers harvesting peat near Silkeborg, Denmark, got more than they bargained for. They unearthed a body buried in the bog, so well preserved it still had hair and skin. Understandably, they ran. The man they found would later be called the Grauballe Man, and his corpse, dating back over 2,300 years, now rests in the Mosegard Museum. Peat bogs are natural time capsules. Their low oxygen and high acidity preserve organic matter for centuries. What shocked researchers wasn't just how intact he was, but the life and death his body revealed. The Grauballe Man lived during the Iron Age, and all evidence points toward ritual sacrifice. His throat was slit, his expression frozen in pain. That bright red hair? Not natural, just a chemical reaction from centuries in the bog. He's one of several bog bodies found across Denmark, but none are quite as hauntingly complete. He's a relic of ancient beliefs and brutal practices, a face-to-face echo from a world long gone. Alright guys, now let's move to number 9. The Roman Jug of Gold. In the basement of a crumbling theater in Como, something gleamed through the dust of 15 centuries. What at first looked like an ordinary ceramic jug turned out to be a jackpot no one would dare expect. Inside were hundreds of perfectly preserved Roman gold coins, their shine barely dulled by time. Each one was a frozen moment from the empire's final days, likely buried during the chaotic collapse of Roman control in the 5th century. As Germanic forces surged into Roman cities, people did what they could to protect what mattered. Sometimes that meant hiding wealth underfoot. Whoever owned this treasure never came back for it. Maybe they fled, maybe they didn't survive. Either way, the coins remained hidden in perfect condition, sealed away from air, water, and history's eyes until now. It's one of the most pristine coin hoards ever found, proof that while empires fall, some fortunes really do wait quietly in the dark. Number 8. Irish pub sits hidden gold. In 2013, Cooney's Bar in Tipperary was getting a major renovation after serving locals for over 3 centuries. But when workers tore up the floorboards, they didn't expect to find history staring back at them, 81 gold coins, neatly laid out in a line. The stash dates back to the 1600s and bore the faces of monarchs like Charles II, James II, and William III. These coins, mainly guineas and half-guineas, were made from West African gold and minted in Britain. Most likely someone's life savings are hidden away in a time of political chaos or war. It's the largest ancient coin discovery in Ireland since 1947. By law, treasures like this become the property of the state, but the construction team and pub owners were reportedly rewarded with a generous finder's fee. What makes this find hit harder is how long it sat there right beneath people's feet, under a place where generations drank, laughed, and lived their lives completely unaware of the fortune below. Number C8. Ancient royal structure. Well, earthquakes are often seen as a force of destruction, but in rare cases they also become windows into forgotten worlds. In Myanmar's historic city of Inwa, once known as Ratnapura Ava and the former imperial capital from the 14th to 19th centuries, a recent earthquake did just that. A powerful geological rift exposed the remains of what's believed to be a royal water palace from the Konbung dynasty, which ruled between 1752 and 1885. Archaeologists had first spotted fragments of a staircase back in 2009, but this natural upheaval revealed something far more complete, an entire complex buried beneath the soil. Early studies show foundations, stairways, and pavilion traces that mirror ancient palm leaf manuscripts called Pura Pike, which recorded royal architecture. Researchers now believe this site may have hosted ceremonial events held by Burmese kings. Excavations are planned to confirm its purpose, but one thing's already clear: the quake unearthed not just ruins, but a hidden piece of Myanmar's royal past. Number C. Roman villa under a vineyard. In Verona, Italy, a quiet vineyard turned into a time machine in May 2020 when intricate Roman mosaic floors reappeared beneath the soil. The villa had originally been discovered back in 1922, then inexplicably covered over and forgotten. Local archaeologists had searched for it on and off for decades, knowing it was somewhere nearby. The breakthrough finally came during land work on the vineyard, bringing the ancient art back into the light. Some local legends even suggest that the original landowner in the 1880s knew of the ruins but kept it secret to avoid disruption. Now the site is undergoing a full excavation, and each tile uncovered adds detail to a long-lost chapter of Roman life. The villa is believed to date back over 2,400 years, but so far, no clear records have revealed who lived there. Still, the preserved mosaics speak volumes of wealth, culture, and a Roman past hidden under vines and silence for over a century. Number 5. James Hyatt Sitz's 4M pendant. James Hyatt was just 3 years old when he took a metal detector into a field with his dad for the first time in 2009. Within minutes, the machine beeped, and what he pulled out of the ground left seasoned treasure hunters stunned. It was a 500-year-old gold pendant, etched with the Virgin Mary and symbols of the 5 wounds of Christ. Small but priceless, the pendant was once used to house a religious relic, though the compartment is now sealed tight. No one wants to risk opening it, in case they damage something sacred still hidden inside. Experts estimate the artifact's value at around $4 million. British law mandates that any profit is split between the finder and the landowner, but when you're talking millions, no one's complaining. What makes this story wild isn't just the value, it's the odds. Most detectorists search for years and come up empty. James, he struck historical gold on day 1. Beginner's luck doesn't get better than this. Number 4. Mammoth tusk beneath Los Angeles. In 2016, during routine subway expansion in LA, construction workers dug into something they weren't expecting: an enormous 3-foot-long mammoth tusk buried deep underground. Nearby were smaller tusks and a partial skull, likely from a much younger mammoth or mastodon. There's even a chance it was the child of the larger one. The site sat near the La Brea tar pits, where thick asphalt has bubbled up for over 40,000 years, trapping and preserving prehistoric animals. It's likely both mammoths fell victim to those ancient sticky pits. Thankfully, the construction crew had paleontologists on standby, standard protocol in this fossil-rich area. As soon as the bones surfaced, the experts moved fast, covering them in protective plaster before carefully removing them for conservation. The remains now rest at the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles, giving a glimpse into a time when massive beasts once roamed the region. The discovery paused construction, but for science, it was a moment worth the delay. Number 3. Sumatra Sitz's golden clues. The Meteor River in Sumatra keeps coughing up treasures no one expected to find: statues, coins, and ornate jewelry worth more than their weight in gold. Among the most breathtaking finds is a massive Buddha figure estimated to be worth millions on its own. Over the last few years, these discoveries have led researchers to reconsider a long-dismissed theory that Sumatra might actually be the real island of gold, tied to the once mighty Srivijaya Empire. Between the 7th and 13th centuries, Srivijaya dominated regional trade but vanished mysteriously from historical records. What's turning up now tells a story of enormous wealth and global reach: fine Chinese ceramics, Persian silver, and Indian goldwork. It all fits. Sumatra wasn't just a stopover, it was a hub. And yet professional archaeologists haven't launched a full-scale dig. Most of what we know comes from the nets of local fishermen. That's beginning to change, but for now the river's doing the talking, one artifact at a time. Alright, now, let's talk about number 2. Mass plague grave under grocery store. In 2015, during renovation work at a monopric supermarket in Paris, construction workers uncovered something chilling: bones. Lots of them. As they kept digging, skeletons kept surfacing. By the time archaeologists stepped in, over 200 bodies had been unearthed beneath what was once just the dairy aisle. The building sat atop the grounds of a former hospital, and the skeletons were part of a long-lost plague pit from the 14th century. During the peak of the Black Death in 1349, Paris saw more than 800 people die each day. Graveyards couldn't cope with the sheer number of dead, so mass pits like this became a grim necessity. Nearly 7 centuries later, shoppers walked casually over a burial site steeped in tragedy. The remains were eventually catalogued and removed, and the store continued operations, but for many in the area, knowing what lay beneath their feet added an eerie layer to an otherwise ordinary trip for groceries. Number 1. King Richard III. Under a parking lot. For centuries, nobody really knew where King Richard III was buried. He died in 1485 during the Battle of Bosworth, and rumors swirled, but the location stayed lost until 2012, when his skeleton turned up beneath a parking lot in Leicester. Not exactly a royal resting place. There used to be a church on the site, but it was demolished ages ago, and the grave slipped through history's cracks. It wasn't until 2017 that scientists confirmed the remains were his, using DNA from living descendants. What they found matched Shakespeare's writings perfectly. Richard had severe scoliosis that twisted his spine, giving rise to the infamous crooked back nickname. This wasn't propaganda, it was real. His bones told a story that history books had debated for centuries. The king's remains were eventually reburied with full honors, but for over 500 years, he lay in the dirt under tire tracks and oil stains. Well, we really hope you found this video interesting. If you did, please like it, share it, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content like this. Thanks for joining us on this journey, and we'll see you soon in the next one.